right before Louisville joined the ACC, they had so much success as a basketball program. It rose to a crescendo with Rick Pitino. They went to the Final Four. They followed that up with a national title. The following year, they were, in a league that wasn't great in the American, but they were considered a national title contender again, and they made the Elite Eight. But a big reason for that was Russ Smith, and he has met all the criteria that it's a very, very high bar to have your number retired at most places. And he has met that bar, and cleared it, which is a significant accomplishment for him. What are your memories of covering him? Like, if you were at a party and someone said, like, what's your favorite Russ story? Like, what's your go-to? Do you have one?
Well, a quote comes to mind from Patino, more so than an actual action or something on the court, and trying to describe, Russ's proclivity for shooting. He said something to the effect of, if Russ is coming down the floor on a 1-on-3 break, he thinks advantage Russ. And so that always stuck with me, and it was hilarious and true. And I just felt like Russ, and I'm so happy that he's getting his jersey retired. That's awesome for him. He was always a good kid. I do remember at the end of his freshman year when they lost to Morehead State in the NCAA tournament, that last open locker room, you're just trying to talk to as many guys as you can, especially trying to figure out them for next year and everything. So I asked Russ if he was coming back, basically, because he didn't get much time that freshman year. It didn't seem like he would be able to satisfy Patino's standard to be able to play. Like, I wasn't sure if he got the game. You know what I mean? Like, he just seemed like he wanted to shoot the ball. That's it. And so, he basically was steadfast. Obviously, he stayed all 4 years, and he was like, no, I'm coming back, especially after Steve Masiello went to Manhattan and got that job. I thought Russ might go back to New York, be able to shoot as much as he wanted to, that kind of thing. But he stayed the course. That was one thing that always stood out to me about Russ. And if we're talking about a singular game, I felt like he only had 9 points in this game. I had to go back and look at what he scored. But when they played Kentucky in 2012, lost the game, not in the Final Four but when they played in the regular season at Rupp Arena, Russ was the only one who had no fear. Like, Anthony Davis shut everything down in the lane. Like, guys were going in there, you know what I mean, throwing up shots, just throw up shots, and so wary of where Anthony Davis was at the time. And Russ didn't care, man. Like, Russ was taking it. He was the only player I felt like who was playing his game out of Louisville's guys. I felt like he was the only one who was just like, I don't care who you are, how tall you are, what you do, I'm going to the rim. You must stop me. And he just kind of had that approach, I felt like, throughout his career.
Yeah, no question. Just a fearless, almost like laughably not fearless. Like, it was so far in the other direction of fearless that it was, at times you're kind of like, do you see what is going on here? The classic 1-on-4 fast break. And most people would say, please do not do that. It was the first year that I covered MCL. This is the perfect, you will not be surprised by this. Our friend Adam Himmelsbach and I were in Dallas covering Louisville at SMU. And they ended up winning, I think, by like 14 or 15. Tony Romo was there. President Bush, or former President Bush, was there with Laura Bush. It was a big deal. They were playing Louisville. They were, coming off a national title. It was a big game. And he yacked in the trash can at the end of the bench. I think he scored. He scored like 22 points in the second half. He finished with like 26, and he threw up in the trash can. Like, everyone saw him throwing up in the trash. It was disgusting. And after the game, we were, you get those great road locker rooms where you're really the only person in there, and Adam was with me. So it's the two of us, and I think maybe one other. And we were like, you threw up, like, what happened? Were you like, why did you puke? What do you think it was? Was it something you ate? And he said, no, I had a normal game day. I had a normal game day breakfast. And we asked him what his game day breakfast was. And I have not been able to find the video of this, but dude listed like things that no one in their right mind would consider normal. He was like 3 bowls of like tricks. He had pancakes. Like it was just some ridiculous meal. And it was the most Russ answer because he looked shocked. Like he looked flabbergasted of how could I possibly have been sick from eating that? It's so normal for me. But yeah, just, you always knew that he was always going to talk in the locker room. He was always going to be honest with you. Always made time for interviews if you asked for one-on-one time. Just, that always stuck with me in covering him.
Yeah. He was a great kid, man. What's funny too is for all the, maybe I'm pointing out the wrong things here. For all of the great games he had, I look back his national title game, he only had 9 points in that game too. Like it's kind of funny how things even out. But I think underrated in his career, obviously we talk a lot about his scoring. I would have hated to face him, dribbling the ball up the floor. His on ball pressure was crazy. And his ability to anticipate and everything was awesome. That reminds me of another story, and this is not to his greatness, but it was just always kind of funny to me when they played UConn and Kemba Walker, I sound like I'm from Boston. Kemba Walker was in his last year. I guess Russ might have been a freshman. They had some background in New York, and so Kemba knew Russ. But while they're on the court, he was calling him Little Russ. It was such a big brother, little brother thing. He was like, "Come on, Little Russ, come on." It was kind of funny. It was almost like, but at that point, Kimball was, obviously at the top of his game, and he was toying with everybody. So certainly that's no shame to Russ. But again, there was no fear in Russ's eyes. Like, I don't care, you're about to be up for player of the year or whatever. Like, you're going to have to come here and play me. I'm on this court just like you. And it was almost like, I wanted to say, don't you know you're supposed to have some fear? You know what I mean? Like, don't you know?
Yeah.
Almost kid-like. Like he didn't, it was like he didn't know that was supposed to exist. No anxiety whatsoever.
Truly one of a kind figure. And his dad obviously became a legend in his own right down here, and has already won and has maintained that status in New York over the past few years as well. We'll see how this is awesome, man. We could probably do this for like 2 hours talking about Russ because he's an all-timer. But I appreciate some of your you sharing some of your favorite memories with him. He'll be very happy, I'm sure, to have his number retired, and has always felt like Louisville was the only place that truly appreciated him, at least basketball wise. He's maintained that for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, he was great. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Old beat writers unite.
It was always entertaining being in the same room with like Brian Bennett and like Eric Crawford and all these guys who have been in the similar role or the same role over the years. It's always entertaining. So hopefully we will see you soon, CL. And thank you for some of your time today. Appreciate it.